This Hour Has 22 Minutes is a satirical examination of daily events. Some viewers may not share this sense of humor.
Warning to all members of Parliament. When picking up your pension, lift with your legs, not your back.
Romeo LeBlanc became Canada's newest Governor-General in a resplendent ceremony in Ottawa last week. Canada's top military brass were invited on condition that they didn't tape beer bottles to their heads and ride each other around in their undershirts. The audience was entertained by a singing hunchback who turned out to be Dan Hill, the first person to sing inside the Senate chamber. Except, of course, Margaret Trudeau. In his speech, LeBlanc made many references to Canadian heroism and acts of courage that make us shudder. Pierre Trudeau was quick to provide an example. The proceedings were interrupted when two men in suits tried to interest LeBlanc in some jewel-encrusted soaps on a rope from the Mulrooney era. But the unassuming LeBlanc politely declined.
With great fanfare, the Quebec government sovereignty committees were introduced to the public last week.
First, they all squeezed together for the class picture. Jacques Parizeau was voted most likely to secede. Then the traditional red horn was blown, calling all dedicated committee members to the Great Hall, where another French-Canadian tradition was performed, the dance of the Klondike Girl from Alberta.
The committees are expected to release the report around the same time Parizeau lets go of the Klondike Girl later this year.
Reform Party leader Preston Manning sent a strong message to Canada's finance minister last week. At the opening of a swanky new Reform Party headquarters, Manning chose the simple task of a ribbon-cutting ceremony to illustrate how easy it is to make budget cuts. Later in the day, Manning continued his assault on the finance minister, saying that unlike Martin, he aims to please. He then threw a baseball like a girl to illustrate that point.
The Vancouver police absolved themselves completely of any responsibility for the Stanley Cup riots last May, in which one person was seriously wounded.
In fact, at an all-you-can-eat press conference, the police commissioner praised the officers for their actions.
I would give him an A.
The well-trained, disciplined officers scored an A in all of the major police events of the riot. The truncheon against skin and bone exercise, the innocent bystander drag on pavement, the innocent bystander stomp, also on pavement, and of course the catch the harmless motorist in your crosshairs event.
You know, that's definitely A behavior. Not A plus, I guess, because no one actually died.
There has been another successful NASA Space Shuttle mission. For a Canadian perspective, we now talk to our very own This Hour Has 22 Minutes space station and our correspondents in space, Mr. and Mrs. Bob Devereaux. They are hundreds of miles above the Earth's surface. Hello to you both.
Who are you waving at, Bob? Sure, there's no one out there. Look, JB's here. Hello.
Hello. Now, your crew retrieved a satellite earlier in your mission. How did the spacewalk go?
Oh, well, JB, it's not really walking weather.
It's okay if you're bundled up.
Yeah, we might go out for another walk after the space dishes are done.
The space dishes are done.
Did you unload the space dishwasher?
It's on dry cycle.
I don't know why we had that space dishwasher installed, JB. All it is a heated cover.
So, what's next on your space agenda?
Well, Bob won't stop. You think he'd slow down, no gravity and all, but look, going with the giant space rack now. Look, what's this? What's that for, Bob?
There's a gas leak outside. I'm gonna plug it up with a giant space rag.
So that's only going to act as a wick.
Will you put that cigarette out? That's a fire hazard.
Sure, crack a porthole, sourpuss. I'm talking to JB, aren't I?
So, what is it like being hundreds of miles above the Earth's surface?
Well, it's dry, and it's about 800 degrees below with a very dead cold.
Kind of like Thunder Bay.
Bob's a long Morse test monkey, JB, but he doesn't realize that. Look, going now with the inner tube. What's that for, Bob?
We're getting too close to the Ruskies. They're liable to scrape the paint. When you get off the space phone, you got more talk than a Christian. Come outside. I need you to give me a hand.
I gotta go now, JB. Bob wants me to come out and hold the flashlight. Oh no, Bob's been sucked out into space. There's gonna be some crooked now when I get him rehydrated. Bye-bye, JB.
Good night.
Hi, I'm Mayor Delahunty. Well, here we are, in the dying throes of this, the most aggressive century in recorded history. And we're up to our eyeballs in hostilities, sorties, peace offensives, and just plain wars. Oh, no, call me crazy. Call me Hilda if you want to, but I wonder, could that have anything at all to do with the fact that for every buck we spend to educate a child worldwide, we spend 25 on a soldier? And sure, even though we spend the extra money, the poor old fellas in the Canadian military are out lining up to food banks and taking part-time jobs delivering pizzas to try to make ends meet. Oh, now there's a thought that could put you off the free home delivery of fast food. One of the hazing ritual airborne fellas showing up on your doorstep with your large, fully dressed with pineapple. It's like a vast Gobi desert of ineptitude out there. The week after we disbanded that elite crowd of commandos who we trained as killers and then sent out as peacekeepers, we decided to give their commanding officer a medal. The last time we went to war, we had to take our warship out of a museum. We are a country of 115 generals and only 114 tanks. Oh, come on. I mean, the gag is up. What are we doing with the armed forces anyway? Why don't we just disband the whole lot of them and retrain them as peacemakers? Of course, that's too simple an idea for that Sahara of common sense Ottawa. And I suppose the military will always have with us. So, like the grunts say, may God's great gun be always aimed right at you. And may the Lord always keep you in his crosshairs.
Psychologists have reported that they are seeing an increase among Canadian judges who are suffering from LA courtroom envy. The rate is particularly high among judges in rundown, rural, out-of-the-way courtrooms.
This is not a theater, nor a spectator sport, nor will it become the O.J. Simpson fiasco.
Canadians are advised that judges suffering from LA courtroom envy are prone to bizarre outbursts, crying jags, and are likely to alter their appearance without notice.
More news now about Governor General Romeo LeBlanc. On the same day he was sworn in, he unveiled his coat of arms. The attractive and highly symbolic crest features two surly dolphins with padlock earrings barking at a severed knight's head. The coat of arms was designed in consultation with LeBlanc himself and sports the beloved Latin phrase semper amissos mememissisi, decet, meaning you can squeal like a dolphin, I don't pay taxes.
Time now to check in with this hour's twin metaphysical technicians, the Sphinxler sisters. Hello, ladies.
Hello, JB. I'm Getty Lou.
And I'm Galen.
And we're twins.
Except I love tragedy.
And I love comedy. But he already knows that, darling.
Darling, Valentine's Day is coming.
And love is in the air.
Someday he'll come along, the man I love.
Excuse me, ladies. What's up for Canadians in the near future?
You Canadians are entering a highly romantic period.
Just look at that Jack Parizeau. Oh, those eyes.
That hair.
Fabulous, but that smile. Uh-oh. Scary smile. Here's a hint, Jacques. You might want to get those dentures filed down.
Yes, or at least get the modern ones, wooden dentures.
Oh, the splinters. Oh.
Okay, what about our Prime Minister?
Oh, your Prime Minister, JB.
He's so swell.
He's like the Canadian George Hamilton.
Only whiter.
And Canadian.
And his Vice Prime Minister?
That would be Sheila Cox.
Yes. There's a wallflower getting ready to blossom.
Your day is coming, sweetheart. But here's a hint, Sheila. Hockey gear doesn't always work under a skirt jacket combo.
That's right. Shoulders are out.
Hemlines will be up.
And so will your dollar, JB. Look at it go. Rocketing back up to 71 cents.
We predict that someday your dollar will be worth almost $1. Oh, and I see you found your G7 spot, Canada.
Whoa! Halifax! Who knew?
Yes, well, who did know? As always, Gail Ann and Gertie Lou, this has been fascinating. Thank you.
Oh, thank you,
darling.
sweetheart. We'll meet again.
Don't know where, don't know when.
Good night. Well, the Prime Minister was in Halifax a little while ago. He was here giving his prime ministerial once-over all the big plans for the big G7. 2,400 journalists, all the leaders of all the industrialized countries of the world will be here in Halifax for a 3-day summit in June. And so they should. Why not? It's a great city, and it's got a great big swanky building with a great big swanky boardroom overlooking something a lot of these guys don't have. A very attractive harbor. I applaud the federal government for having the foresight way back in 1988 to agree to clean this harbor up. Oh, darn. I forgot. No sooner was the ink dry on the paper, they changed their mind and said this harbor wasn't worth it. And now, all those people who said no in 1988 have a big #1 1995 priority. Companies coming, honey. Hide the sewage. Maybe we can cover it all in balloons, or we can put up a big banner along here. We can pump all this sewage to another part of the city. So far, that's the only ideas they've come up with. Who raised these people? Didn't we all figure out somewhere along the line that if we were told to clean up our rooms because company was coming, we had to do a good job or else? Huh? Come on, John. You got 5 months. Start scrubbing, buddy, and smarten up. 2,400 journalists? One of them might just look under the bed.
In international news, Greenland has threatened to secede from Denmark. Here at home, the news from Greenland hasn't affected the Canadian dollar, but is expected to affect the Canadian Tire dollar. Its normal value of 0.0001 of a cent could go as low as 0.00001 of a cent.
Ralph Klein has won kudos from premiers across the country for his spending cut frenzy. But last week, he surprised almost everyone by announcing that he's leaving politics in order to pursue a career in music.
Klein, seen here showing off his dance moves in the Alberta legislature, will debut next month at the Imperial Room of the Empire Hotel in Lethbridge.
He will be premiering his new hit single, The First Cut is the Deepest.
Premier Bob Rae says he's confident he will win the next provincial election, despite the fact that he's trailing badly in the polls. Support for the provincial NDP party sits at 17%, while the Liberals lead with 47%, and the Progressive Conservative Party sits comfortably at 30%. When told about the poll, Premier Rae shrugged and took the time to introduce the reporters to his best friend, a 6-foot invisible rabbit named Harvey.
1 hour is too many, and a whole day is not enough. I freely admit right here, right now, that I am powerless over CNN's all-day coverage of the O.J. Simpson trial. And that, yes, my life has become unmanageable. For 2 weeks, I have been glued like a rat to the tube. I am buggy-eyed. I am soused on Greta Van Sustern's insights into Johnny Cochran's cross-examination techniques. I'm stupefied with information on the recital and Denise Brown Simpson's drinking habits. I'm intoxicated with the facts on Cato, the Akita dog's plaintive wails. Not to be confused with Cato, the family human pet, who also, incidentally, had a house in the backyard, but allegedly never wailed plaintively or otherwise. I am as full as a tick, and I am in grave danger of going into a complete O.J. blackout. The first ever OD on O.J. I am reaching critical mass. I started because I think I know what the juice could never do. 32, me and you. But it's more than that now. The O.J. Simpson trial has become for me a dark compulsion. Right or wrong, I have got to watch it till the end. But if News World televises the Paul Bernardo trial, I will be forced to take desperate action. I will be forced to cancel the cable altogether. Well, I might watch the opening statements.
Okay, kids, put down your homework. It's time for a special message from the stars of Hockey Notebook.
So, kids, you want to be a big-time hockey star?
Well, you're going to have to start from scratch.
Slap on those skates.
Put on that gear.
Plunk yourself down in front of that TV and watch Hockey Notebook's 2-hour special on the CBC.
This special will show you the difference between indoor hockey etiquette and outdoor on-the-pond etiquette.
You will see high sticking,
cross-checking,
spirit like you've never seen before.
Ouch, that must have hurt. You will see fights that go on and on and on and on.
Look at us go.
Not a rep in sight. And best of all, you will learn about the secret hidden advantages to playing hockey in the out of doors. And they include no parents. And no parents. So make sure you watch the Hockey Notebook CBC special listed in your TV guide as On Frozen Pond. Skill 10.
Breakaway.
Halifax, love the way we live. That's the slogan picked to market the city during this year's G7 summit. Halifax Mayor Walter Fitzgerald says the slogan will be used on correspondence, billboards, posters, and advertisements. The slogan beat out 2 other similar slogans, which were Halifax, put a bullet in me, where's Jack Ruby when you need him? And Halifax, livin', lovin', she's just a woman.
Most Canadians know that Parliament and our plucky parliamentarians are often confused as to who they are and what they are. But they usually do know where they are in terms of the whole time-space continuum. Tragically, when Parliament opened last week, the Speaker of the House had lost even that tenuous hold on reality.
Welcome back to the House of Commons, and welcome to 1985.
Hey, wait a sec. Did he say 1985? That's so bizarre. What a joke, because 1985 was just so different.
We had Mulrooney reassuring people that the 72-cent Canadian dollar was merely a blip. We had Paul Martin, Michael Wilson, swearing he would cut the huge Canadian deficit at whatever cost. And of course, we had Sheila Copps.
I'm not his baby, and I'm nobody's baby, and I will not apologize.
Oh, still do.
Wow, this is scary. Are we trapped in some kind of cosmic wormhole?
There was a women's breakfast symposium on heart attacks and strokes in Regina this morning. Admission was $7, and that included bacon, eggs, 2 types of sausage, stack of butter toast, and coffee with cream. Medics were standing by, but there were no casualties.
Hello and welcome to If You're Thinking of Doing the Right Thing, You Had Better Think Twice. Just ask Paul Ebbs. Now, Paul thought that he did the right thing when he resigned from his $70,000 a year job as a lawyer at the House of Commons. Now, he did this because, quote, the job didn't exist. I just sat there doing, well, not much of anything. I was rotting. Now, unfortunately, the federal government really didn't think so, and now the House of Commons has lodged a formal complaint with the Law Society of Upper Canada saying that Ebbs breached his client's solicitor privilege by exposing to the country that his job was a waste of taxpayers' money. Now, if he had stayed on forever, collecting his 70 grand a year, all would be well. But for trying to do the right thing, the feds will ensure that Paul pays the price.
Well, another week, another couple of hazing videos. And that's the way we saw the world this week. For all of us here at This Hour is 22 Minutes, I'm Molly McGuire saying good night.
Excuse me there, Molly. This just in, the This Hour has 22-minute election desk has declared an NDP victory for Paul the Butcher Vachon in the Quebec riding of Brome-Missisquoi.
Well, congratulations to Mr. Butcher, and watch it, Sven. Can you hear those footsteps coming? Good night.
Good night.
You are watching DNTWN. Definitely not the Women's Network. Here are some of the programs coming up on Definitely Not the Women's Network.
On Monday, we'll be talking to a guy who says the best way to light a fire is to put the kindling on the top.
And we're sure that discussion will get quite heated.
And on Tuesday, we'll be celebrating the birthday of the Vice Grip.
It'll be 80 years young.
Yes, it's a wonderful little tool, and it has yet to be improved upon.
On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about a new emergency number you can call if the bubble goes out of your level.
And on Thursday, it's Sweatpants Hall of Fame. And then, in the afternoon, we'll be taking our cameras across the hall to the Women's Network, where we will be playing some pranks.
And on Friday, backed by popular demand, it's Poetry Corner. I believe we have an excerpt.
There once was a barmaid named Luna. For money, she would wrestle tuna.
They traveled from Fur to Luna's small bar, where the first show would start around noona.
And on Saturday, we will be drinking beer and sitting around a hole that we'll chop in the ice.
It's a great pond.
There's no fish.
Doesn't matter. And on Sunday, we're going to be helping someone build a retaining wall because one of us lost a barbess.
So, put a dent in that couch.
Put your recliners at ease and keep the faith.